not be any unboxing by the Savage from the company known as Sears. You know why? Because they about to go out of business. Stand by, because their video is about to start. Damn, this thing is dusty as hell. This is the Savage Scientist Egg right here. And I'm over in the police car. Alright, this is the governor of the state of Swampland, Governor Egg, the Savage Scientist. And today I'm going to talk to y'all about Sears. But first, make sure you hit that subscribe button down there. Wherever, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell notification and you won't miss my next video. Today I'm talking to y'all about Sears. I know this company, it used to be a real great company, a great place to work, and it had superior technology way back in the 80s. But Walmart surpassed Sears and became the #1 retailer, the company with the most stores in the probably 1989, 90s. So Sears it haven't been declining, but its growth really started to slow in 1990. And I would say from 1990 to 2000, that's when you saw a turnaround. Closer to 1997 and 98, that's when Sears started to decline as an American retailer, the American retailer. So the story behind Sears is interesting, and you could look at the historical documents to see that stuff, because as you see, at one point in time, Sears was the catalog king. It was the Amazon of the old days, but now it is a shell of what it used to be. This company bought us the Sears Tower, today known as the Willis Tower, because they had to give up the names because they couldn't afford to build it. This company seen some hard times, but now it's seen the hardest times that it ever seen, because it can't keep up with the savage beast known as Amazon. So what I'm trying to say is that this is going to be the last holiday season with a company we know as Sears. It might come back as a new name like Toys R Us. It might do something, but it declared Chapter 11 bankruptcy, similar to how Toys R Us did, and before you know it, it was out of business. Sears and Kmart are about to be gone, and there's not any Kmarts in this area. So, I mean, I'm not really missing anything. People stopped shopping at Sears and Kmart because they couldn't keep up with the technology. Their stores were outdated. They didn't stand behind their products, and they didn't make the conscious decisions and involving in emerging technologies, and that's why they on their way out. So enough of all that rambling. I used to work at Sears in the electronics department back in 2000, and back then Packard Bell computers were big. They were all over, and I remember my cousin came in the store and asked me to recommend a computer for her, and I told her I would not get any of these computers because they are underpowered when compared to something you could buy at Best Buy, Circuit City, CompUSA. I wrote down some specs and told her to get this computer at Circuit City. It's cheaper, it's more powerful, and you're gonna like this computer much better. When I worked at Sears at that time, the 007 GoldenEye game was big. People were buying the hell out of it. And I enjoyed working there in the electronics department. I was kind of like electronics and security. But security at Sears is another thing. I mean, they didn't have a big shrink problem or theft problem because most of the products were locked up in the back of the store, so people couldn't just walk out with the shit in their hands. But nothing stops somebody from, if they see something on the shelf and you have an old receipt, to take it out the store using the old receipt. Just go to the car, put it in your car, get another one, just keep repeating that same thing. If you see it on the shelf, there's nothing stopping people from doing that. And that was one of the things I used to always think about. If I ever wanted to steal out of Sears, the only thing I got to do is get an old receipt, go back in the store and say I just bought this. Easy, huh? So what I'm saying is that Sears had a inventory problem. So I bought a laptop. Well, I purchased a laptop and I wanted the display model, but the store said that they were not selling it. So they told me that there's one in stock in Jackson, Mississippi. I drove to Jackson, Mississippi to buy the computer. The person in the store said he's gonna set the computer on the side because I'll be there in about 4 hours. I get to Jackson, the computer, the guy said that, oh, we don't have that computer. I was so damn mad. I mean, that's when I really stopped dealing with Sears. They have a real bad problem with selling people one thing just because the computer says it's in stock. If you don't see it in your hand, if you're not holding it, it's not in stock because the computer is mostly wrong, and it's probably because of inventory problems like the one I just mentioned, where somebody magically walked up in the store, saw it on the shelf, walked out with it, but they might have some in the back. I don't know, but when I worked at Sears, a lady had this same problem, and I told her that sometimes it might say we have something in stock, but it's not. And she paid for an item. It was another laptop, and I told her your best bet is to cancel this order and let me refund you. You buy this laptop where you see it in the store. It might be $50 or $60 more, but buy the computer where you could actually see it, because it been about a month that this computer haven't came in, and the woman was still looking for this particular computer. Told her it's not in the store. If we can't, I mean, I know what's in the back. I know the computer wasn't there. So, and I remember having that own bullshit problem with other Sears stores. So I told the woman, no, it's not there. So that was one of the big problems I had working with Sears. And they had these big, huge damn registers. I mean, Kmart and Sears just had the worst, biggest, dinosaur-looking cash register point of sale systems that I ever seen. You need a wheelbarrow to put this damn thing in if they ever was to swap it out. And I bet you go in Sears and Kmart today, they still had those big-ass registers from 1983. It looked like, I mean, CRT monitors. I mean, they might have slapped the touchscreen on it now, but these big, gigantic registers just look like something that's not efficient from the old days. And that's one of the problems. I mean, it seemed like they didn't manage inventory. They didn't invest in RFID technology to monitor stuff coming in and out the store to make sure that these items actually matched. If a customer has one item, then it should show that in the inventory system. You know, Walmart could tell if something was purchased. Sears can too, but they don't have no way of marking inventory items like Sears. I mean, Walmart will put a little dot on the own products as customers buy them. So when you leave out the store, you know, it's something that a customer know if it actually went through a point of sale system. So another thing could be if you use RFID technology. If somebody stole something off the shelf, then it'll send off a different signal saying it haven't went across the register. And then if it just wasn't scanned, then the clerk who sold it, or they could look at the receipt and call that person and say, hey, has this item been cleared through your register? And if you see it twice, then you know this customer did this, went back in the store and got the same item. So then, you could look at stuff like that. You know, I always wanted to work in loss prevention instead of selling computers. But that's just me. You know, in order to be a great loss prevention person, you have to think like a crook. And I think like a crook. So another thing I noticed when I was working at Sears was they sold GPX and Lucky Gold Star. LG is the current equivalent. I mean, LG is Gold Star today, but before LG was this great company making the best smartphones, it was a crappy piece of shit company that made garbage. It made stuff that didn't last, and it was the same stuff that you could buy in Dollar General, or a boombox you could buy in Dollar General was sold at at Sears. Probably Kmart too, but I know for sure that you could buy GPX products next to Sony's Magnavox RCA, the best name, was sold next to the crappy garbage. Gold Star and GPX was sold among the best names. So that was a problem, because to me it seemed like they were selling junk to fill in spaces for the good things they didn't have. And no way, I never saw that anywhere else in retail where stuff was done like this. Sears had a problem with stocking their shelves. It just seemed, I would see the bottom shelves empty in the electronics section, and they didn't have a wide selection in that department. So if you look at the electronics department at Sears, then you could tell that this company was in trouble. It couldn't compete with Best Buy, Walmart, or any other company that took electronics serious. And games were not in alphabetical order. They were all over the place. They were selling PlayStation games on the shelf, and then you would see Nintendo 64 games. You know, it just seemed like you have one Nintendo 64 game section starting on right here. If you have a section of games, you have Nintendo 64 games right here, and then way on the other side, the rest of the Nintendo 64 game. So it wasn't in a continuous block of the same console. And that was a big problem. And then they always said that one day we're going to get around to organizing that. In that particular Sears store I worked at, it wasn't organized, and when new titles come in, they didn't have anywhere to stick them, so they just put it anywhere. And that was a big problem. Computers were outdated. They never had the latest computers. By the time the Pentium 1000 megahertz computer came out, I mean, that was the Pentium 4 1000 megahertz. No, the Pentium 3 1000 megahertz. This was a Toshiba laptop. They were still selling the 733 version of the computer. So that was last year's model, was sold as if it was brand new in Sears. And to me, it just seemed like the customers not know that they had better stuff out here. I didn't understand it. So Sears never had the latest and greatest. AMD came out with the Athlon chip. They were still selling, they instead started selling Duron computers. And Duron is a little better. Duron is not Athlon, but it's better than Sempron. It is in between Pentium and Celeron. So, if you look at what AMD was doing, what Sears was doing, it was that they were finding ways to raise the price on crap and sell it as if it was good. And then it was our job to sell these computers with warranties. If you sell a warranty, you were the man. They focused more on people selling warranties than selling products. It was commission based, but it was hard to sell a $700 computer for $1,000. So, you just found some customers who were just loyal to the brand Sears. And that's it. That Sears loyalty, those people, they are smarter shoppers now. The people who used to just go buy stuff because it says Sears, that's gone. And now the company is suffering because they did not keep up. If they would have kept up, they could have been what Amazon is today. Sears had the best catalog section. If you wanted to buy something out without seeing it physically, the Sears catalog was the best thing, because you could always go to a Sears store and see it. And you could buy stuff in the catalog, return it to Sears, kind of like how Walmart is doing now with store to store. And that is one of the big reasons why Walmart is able to compete with Amazon, because they embraced emerging technology, online shopping. Walmart actually got it set up so another person could sell something through Walmart.com, similar to how a person could sell something on Amazon. I could sell SKFF right here on Amazon or eBay, but I can't go to Sears and do that. I don't know what Target is doing. I know Target is also doing good. They're doing better than Sears Holding / Kmart and Sears. But the only way for Sears to succeed is a miracle. And they might have to have a miracle and do something online. But the way we know Sears is, going into a Sears store, buying something off the shelf, that's gone. You ain't gonna be able to do that no more. So that's me with a quick video on Sears, and one of the reasons why I think this company declined. And hit the comments up, let me know what y'all think about Sears. And I think that this company will not be here around this time next year, October 2019. There will not be a Sears. Tenfold. Y'all have a great day and go shop at Sears and make money if you out there hustling. Tenfold.